Tonight we will be hearing the real-life, spine-chilling paranormal encounter of a handful of our viewers. All our stories have been anonymous. We will bring entertainment and bring real spooky stories to you to enjoy. Stay spooky.
Hi and welcome. This is part 5. Get your popcorn ready. Later in the day, we went out with my grandparents to the park. We had a wonderful day as a family. Everyone was in good spirit. By the time we got home, the sun was setting. I had time to explore with my brother before dark. My brother wanted me to play by the big old tree in the front garden. The grass sometimes grows very long at my grandparents', makes a perfect way of playing hide and seek. On my way through the front door, I passed by my grandfather sitting at the front porch. He was reading a newspaper and smoking his pipe. I stopped and gave him a big hug. He asked me what we were up to. The tree had branches hanging down, we sometimes swinging from it, playing Tarzan at the weeping willow tree. But when I mentioned the tree, my grandfather looked worried. He said we should not play by the tree when it gets dark. I wanted to know why, but he then asked me about my nightmare. I said that the nightmare was bad, but the noises was worse. I told him even the footsteps in the hallway scared me. I even mentioned the scary grandfather clock in the hallway. He then comforted me and said, "Let me tell you, there is nothing to be scared of. They will not harm you." I looked confused at my grandfather. "What do you mean, grandfather?" I asked. He sighed and in a low voice said to me, "I should not tell you. Your mother will not be happy with me." They noticed that you are scared. I could tell my grandfather tried really hard not to say much. He turned to me and said, "They don't know that they dead. Some lost their lives too soon and lashes out, but I know how to talk to them." My eyes wide open, looking at my grandfather with fear. He hugged me and comforted me. Whisper in my ear, "It's our secret, don't tell your mother." I agreed. In shock, I left to join my brother. But then my grandfather said to me, as I walked off, "Promise not to play at that tree after dark." I couldn't believe what just happened. I turned and said, "Yes, grandfather." Both me and my brother sat on the rocks talking. I told my brother all about what happened and what my grandfather told me. I had so many questions and know to only one who believes me is my grandfather and brother. We both agree to keep it to ourselves as my parents would probably not believe us. We noticed the sun going down and would want to stay at the tree too long and hurried back inside. Soon as the sun set, we run into the house. Dinner was already on the table. Both me and my brother washed up and run to the kitchen. The atmosphere is strange between my parents and grandparents. Notice my sister had red eyes, like she cried. That's when I remembered that I haven't seen much of my sister all day. The last time was at the park, but she was quiet. During dinner, everyone had small talk and less laughter. My grandfather left early to read his newspaper. I went to wash up to get ready for bed. There was no electricity, so no TV and not much to do. Reading books or playing on the bed with my sister is all we could do. But my sister wasn't in any mood to play or read with me. She just laid there in bed. I was started to wonder what is going on here. After a while, trying to get my sister to tell me what is going on with her, she turned around and said, "There is something wrong with this house." Shocked, I said to her that I have the same feeling too. She said that she too heard the noises and whispers. She said that she saw a woman by the tree through the window the night before. No one wanted to believe her, and it caused arguments between our parent and grandparents. I went on telling her about the things our grandfather said to me. We both looked at each other and said at the same time, "We need to talk with our grandfather, he would believe us." We agreed to talk to our grandfather when my parents aren't around the next day. Soon after, my parents walked in to say goodnight, and then our grandparents. This time, my grandfather left a candle in the room and gave us a big kiss on our forehead. We both laid there holding each other until we fell asleep. A big bang woke me up, with my sister shaking me and whispered to me, "Wake up, wake up." That's then when we heard a deep man's voice and loud footsteps. Our room was at the end of the hall, opposite the lounge, facing the front yard with the big tree. the floorboards creaking with every step as it getting closer. The door handle rattles, we just want to scream, and then the door opened. I could feel my body cold as ice, holding my sister so tight and staring into the darkness. My sister picked up the candle to see better towards the door. Then the floor started creaking, and around the corner appeared 2 boots walking past the doorway. The front door opened, and we can still hear the boots going out the door. I couldn't believe my eyes what I just seen. 2 boots with no body, nothing. But then we heard a scream from a woman. My sister walked towards the window. I tried to stop her, but I couldn't speak. I was frozen with fear. Then I heard a woman crying and whimpering. I got up and walked slowly with my sister. Both of us holding each other, shaking, walked towards the window. The moon was full and we can see the tree, but carefully keep distance. We didn't know where the boots was, only that it went through the front door. Then a snap sound and bones breaking. I jumped, and then I saw her, a figure, a woman hanging from one of the branches. I could see her eyes. That's when 2 hands slammed the window close in front of us. You can still the hand prints on the window. That when we fall back and both screaming. Our parents rushed in and my grandparents soon after. Trying to explain both, all we did is crying. I didn't want to open my eyes. Everyone yelled at each other, so much noises and fights. We finally fell asleep in my mother's bed while I could hear my grandparents in their room. The next day, my parents packed up and we headed home. Saying goodbye was the hardest thing. Watching my grandparents so sad that we didn't spend much time with them. Later, after my grandfather passed, my grandmother told us all about my grandfather. The story is about the man who murdered his wife and hanging her in that tree. My grandfather could speak with the dead and keep them calm. He left the boots locked up in a wooden cabinet, but the boots will leave the cabinet and walked down the hall, just like the night he hanged her that night. My grandfather tried to help them move on, but I suppose not all ghosts want to. And they relive that awful night, looking for revenge. I am so glad we have never seen that house again. Thank you.